Ogun State is known by the popular appellation, the Gateway State, because it shares land borders with about 4 states and international boundary with the Republic of Benin. And that means that the state is exposed to a lot of traffic, and where that happens, the issue of safety on the road is a concern. As we are preparing to enter into September, which is the first month in the Ember month, it is imperative that we take a look at road safety, and that is what this conversation is all about today. My name is Adeni Tau. You are welcome to Conversation. Now, to do this with me, I have on the program the Sector Commander for Ogun State Command, Frsc, Mr. Umar Hamid, who will be talking to us about road safety and other issues that are very, very germane at this point in time. Allow me to welcome our guest to the program. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start like this. It was around May or thereabout that you are deployed to Ogun State as the sector commander. You've spent about 2-3 months. Give us a feel of how it has been being the sector commander in Ogun State.
Well, thank you very much. Actually, it was about 2 months now. I assumed duty on 15th of June this year, making it just 2 months or just a few days. And, since I assumed duty, it had been, of course, quite challenging. It's not a smooth ride, I must confess. You know, Ogun State being peculiar with its characteristic high density of traffic flow, being the gateway state, as you mentioned, gateway to the economic hub of the country, which is Lagos. So all the states in the country have to pass through Ogun State to reach Lagos, inward and outward, which makes the traffic density very, very heavy. And thank God that Frsc did not rest on its hours, that we have been very, very active, both pre-COVID, during COVID, and even before the lifting of the ban on the interstate and the subsequent lifting of the ban on the weekends in Ogun State. We have been very, very proactive, and we have strategized our schedules, our duties accordingly to take care of any eventuality even before the lifting of the bans on the restriction of the movement. So it has been quite challenging, but we have been on the top of the situation.
Okay, before we leave that particular issue, we both agree that Ogun State is peculiar. Yeah. Now, is it drawing the quantum of resources or attention that should be drawing from road safety and other concerned authorities?
Of course, yes. I recall during the recent Salah festivities, we had reason, because of the peculiarity, to redeploy more staff along the corridor, exact precisely at Mowe and Ibafo. We deployed more than 30 of our staff from this command and other component commands which are now located on the corridors there, and they added more manpower to our staff there, and we give God the glory. Everything went smoothly. There was no gridlock. All the gridlocks were properly managed. There could be gridlocks, of course, slower movement of vehicles, but no standstill. Everything went smoothly, and we recorded very, very low crashes and other untoward activities.
Okay, thank you very much. There's no way we talk about road safety, we talk about Ogun State, without paying special attention to the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. This is the busiest expressway in Nigeria. It was inaugurated in 1978 by the Obasanjo administration, military administration, I should say. Now, we record, the level of road crashes or carnage that we record on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is alarming. And one we wonder, is it that the challenge of that particular axis is insurmountable? If no, what are we not doing that we're supposed to be doing?
Well, you see, in this aspect, the road users have more role to play to downplay the incessant crashes there. The crashes, of course, have come down, and the federal government and the state governments are doing the best they could to put the roads in better shape, which is evidenced by the ongoing construction processes. So what the road users can do to alleviate the situation further is for them to be law-abiding, to observe the traffic rules or regulations, and to be patient while on the road. Impatience is the most important thing in driving. And the human factor being the most critical factor in the interplay of factors leading to road traffic crashes make it even more essential. Therefore, let the road users be very, very patient on the road. We know that there are gridlocks, especially at the point of construction where the expressway narrows, it causes slower movement of vehicles. So where road users become impatient, they cause a lot of problems. Sometimes they ride against traffic, sometimes they go and crash because of the impatience, they hit another vehicle or run into another vehicle or crash another vehicle or that sort of thing. So we implore the road users to exercise maximum caution and to observe the speed limit while on these expressways. Thank you.
Still talking about Lagos Ibadan Expressway, you identified the human factor as the major factor. Apart from that, what other factor do you think constitutes that lead to accidents on that axis?
Good. The human factor is not limited to only the drivers, even the pedestrians. Like for example, at Mowi, you observe that there are pedestrian bridges provided, pedestrian crossings, but people still don't use those pedestrian bridges. They prefer to cross the road manually, causing a lot of problems. Sometimes pedestrians are knocked down by some impatient drivers. So that human factor still remains paramount. Then apart from that, another factor is the mechanical factor. That is the mechanical stance of the vehicles plying these roads. Especially we have problems from these articulated vehicles. Most of them, you see, they carry heavy goods. And in most cases, some of them could be very, very bad mechanically, and they break down on the road without any warning, thereby causing so much gridlock. Sometimes they lose control of their brakes. They ram into another vehicle, or they run into these separation barriers and whatever. So we do encounter a lot of problems from articulated vehicles. And not only that, recently, though I know we may talk about later, about these containers that drive unsecured, thereby falling on other vehicles or other road users. So all these kind of things we encounter involving heavy duty vehicles. So that is the main challenge we have in terms of the mechanical aspect of the vehicles. And then the other one being the roads. The roads, as you see, the federal government and the state government, they are doing the best they could to put the roads in better shape, because these are the three factors: human, mechanical, and the engineering. Engineering has to do with the roads. Okay. The governments at various levels, they are doing the best they could to put the roads in better shapes. So we call now on the vehicle owners to put their vehicles also in better shape, while the motorists, the drivers, the pedestrians, everybody to exercise maximum caution while using the road, because the road is a public utility. Everybody uses the road, not only drivers, riders or cyclists, even pedestrians. They are part of the road users. So we call on everybody to play his part with utmost caution.
Okay, we'll still draw on that in a bit, because we're still talking about a preparation for the Ember Month. We know that at this point in time, we are putting your act together for the Ember Month campaign. But before we go to that one, if you observe, the Lagos Ibadan is busy now, in the sense that you have churches springing up, you have new residential settlement springing up, industries springing up along that corridor. In terms of support from these organizations, from these clusters, in terms of cooperation, are you getting enough?
Well,
maybe I should put that in perspective. For example, churches will want to have special programs monthly, maybe weekly. There are organizations too that are moving goods and other things. Are they providing necessary support to ensure that you achieve your mandate?
Yeah, if you say support, I don't clearly understand it. Rather, we supporting them or they supporting us.
I want to believe that it should be a teamwork.
All I know is whenever they have a program that may lead to congestion of either human or vehicular or both, they contact us to provide, you know, a appreciable degree of sanity in the program, which we always comply.
Okay.
Like those churches dotted along the corridor, you know, we always ensure that whenever there is a religious program, our boys are there to control the traffic effectively to ensure smooth flow of the human and vehicular traffic, and it usually ends up successfully. So there's no problem with that.
Let's talk about the Ogre Trailer Park. I mean, when the idea was conceived, it was designed to address the issue of trailers, parking by the roadside, constituting nuisance, and giving the operators of such articulated vehicles opportunity to rest, attend to their vehicles, and move on without causing obstruction on the road. Tell us about that trailer park. Is it achieving what it is meant to achieve? Because I know that if it is achieving what it is meant to achieve, it will make your job easier.
Yes, very good. There is trailer park, as you know, at Ogere. That trailer park, I inspected it recently. It's a very good facility, quite large. But I must confess that it is grossly being underutilized. And this behoves on the state government to do needful to take very good care of that park, put it in better shape. We in the Frsc, we are ready to partner with them to guide them on how to put it in a better shape. Ogun State is blessed with land, manpower, whatever you name it, they have it. With in most cases absent in Lagos. If it is Lagos that has that kind of facility, you cannot imagine what they will be raking out of it on a monthly basis. But as I went to that park about a couple of weeks ago, I saw the state it is. I say, no, this is not how things should be. So the state government has a lot of things to do there to put it in a better shape. And the way it does, then it should be better for the state, not only for the state, even for the heavy duty vehicles and even for our work. But there will be a lot of problems here and there, because if you make it better, even they themselves, the drivers, will on their own like to go and park there, rest for some time. It will motivate us to even regulate their activities even better. But when you go to a place, you see everywhere very dirty, smelling, even some broken down vehicles abandoned there for some time, and I'm sure maybe they have not even been paying anything. So the state government need to come in there to clear all those wreckages and take full ownership of that place and put it in better perspective. It will be a source of very good revenue for the states.
Okay.
Yes.
In case you are just joining us, this is a special edition of Conversation, and my guest has been the sector commander for Ogun State, Commander Hamid Umar, who has been talking to us about issues surrounding road safety in the state. Now, let's talk about this. Recently, you launched a campaign tagged Operation Scorpion 2. Tell us about it.
Yes. Operation Scorpion 2 is a second phase of a similar operation, primarily targeted at articulated vehicles conveying containers. It had been observed that some or most of these containers, not all, are unsecured. Unsecured in the sense that the containers can fall off the vehicle easily, thereby endangering the lives of other road users. Like it occurred some weeks back in Lagos, where a container fell off and killed some people. Even before that incident, Frsc had been preparing for the second phase of the operation, Scorpion 2. And last week, 10th of August to 16th, we launched it successfully. In Ogun State, we operated at two points, at Ogeri and at Mowi. And we also operated seamlessly and simultaneously along with Lagos State and even Oyo State. It covered the whole corridor, Lagos to Ibadan. And it was very, very successful. and we were able to make significant arrests of those articulated vehicles conveying containers, and we didn't release anyone until we are sure that such containers are properly secured. Then we release. Those that are not properly secured are still in our custody. We don't release them until we are sure that it is very, very safe and secure to allow them to go on the highway.
I deem it commendable that you made that attempt. But then I still have to say this or ask, because I know that there's a regulation in National Road Traffic Regulation, I think Section 151, that talks about articulated vehicles being properly lashed to this thing. So, despite such effort like the one you did, Operation Scorpion 2, when you still go around, you still see unlatched containers, articulated vehicles with unlatched containers. Who is to blame? I know this is a question of regulation now. Who is to blame?
Okay, you see, the people to blame, number one, are the operators, number one, and two, at loading point, that is the wharfs.
Okay.
Ideally, no vehicle should be allowed to load a container without that proper security. And if they do, they come out, we arrest them. That is all. We don't operate in the wharfs or the ports. We work on the highways, the expressways. When we see them unsecured, we arrest them, we impound them. And any vehicle we observe with such problem is no matter of confiscation. No, we impound them straight in our bases. That's why we partner with the state government. We used their trailer park at Ogiri. In Mowe, there's a similar facility belonging to ASCOM. We use it where we impounded such vehicles. And just like I said earlier, we don't release until the needful is done, then we release them.
Thank you very much. So, okay, let's start talking about the Ember Month campaign. It will be September in the matter of this. We know you always set target. You have a strategy. It will involve a sensitization. It will involve going out to interact with stakeholders. Is that the same format it's going to take this year? And what is the target?
Yes, it will be same format, but even more than that because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have to, whatever we do, we have to take into consideration the COVID-19 protocols. So this year's Ember Month operations, definitely it will focus more on the observance of the COVID-19 protocols vis-a-vis the transportation system. So the operational order is not out yet, but I'm sure before the end of the week, or possibly most likely early next week, it will come out. It will not be without or with prejudice to the COVID-19 protocols. COVID-19 protocols should be strictly adhered to. Already we are enforcing that in all the motor parks and other fleet operators. We enforce these COVID-19 protocols on the safety of the transportation system. So it will be like that, but even more with additional input because of the COVID-19 protocols.
We are still going to talk about synergy, the kind of collaboration you have with sister agencies, the media, and so on and so forth. But let's talk about your men, the operatives under you as the sector commander in Ogun State. Who would you describe? How would you describe an ideal road safety operative relating with members of the public?
Well, all our operatives are public enlightenment officers because we interface with members of the public. That is one. Number two, an ideal road safety man is a very polite operative. We don't harass people on the way. We are always very civil. We are the most civil, the most polite security operatives. Though we operate without arms and we are able to enforce road traffic rules and regulations effectively. And people fear not ferocity but contravening the rules and regulations of the country. Why? Because of our integrity. Take it or leave it, we still have appreciable degree of integrity, and we give God the glory for that. We talk to our men every day. There's what we call patrol briefs. Then of course on our parade days and any other opportunity we talk to our people. Even yesterday, the commercial Federal Safety Corps, that is Dr. Boboy Oyemi, he had virtual meeting with all the patrol operatives all the patrol team leaders across the country. He talked to them one-on-one, talking to them on the, ethics, basic ethics of the job, and how to go about, our operationality successfully without any hitch. So we are always on top of the situation, just as driving or riding is a dynamic process. We also, all our operations are also very dynamic, always on top of the situation.
Okay.
Yes.
But we are running out of time, and I still have 1 or 2 areas to cover. Okay. Briefly, let's talk about number plates. Getting access to number plate in Ogun State. Before now, I know it is commonplace for people to, apply for one, and maybe they'll be issued a temporary something, and after
number plate.
No, that's for licensing rather. So for number plate, how easy is it now to get number plate?
Okay, the issue of number plates, we don't issue the number plates. Road safety is not our mandate to issue number plate. We design and produce, but we don't sell to consumers, to the members of the public. No, we don't. Now that the state government purchase from the Frsc at production cost. At production cost, while they add their profit and sell to members of the public. So if you want to buy number plate, that is to register your vehicle, or you need a replacement or whatever. When you want to buy, then you go to the State Board of Internal Revenue. You register your vehicle, they give you the number plates and all the necessary associated papers they give you. But if it is replacement, maybe loss of the number plate, fading, damaged, or whatever, you want replacement, then you follow certain procedures. You get police affidavit, police extract, court affidavit, and then you apply. We give you a form to fill, then of course we send to our plan. You give us replacements, we collect the old one, and we give you the new ones. That's all.
Thank you. Okay. The synergy with sister organizations, the media. How helpful has that been? Or what is the nature?
Okay, we maintain a very good and robust synergy between the Frsc and other security agencies in the state. Just last week, the new Commissioner of Police visited us. Before him, the new one was here. Last month, personally, he came here, and together we went to our driving license center where his driving license was renewed. Just some couple of weeks back, I was at the custom controller, civil defense. I visited them, and we interact peacefully, and normally there's no problem. There's that very good synergy of security cooperatives, security operatives in Ogun State. There's no problem at all. As of the media, also there's no problem. Just you see us now, we are interacting, happily and beautifully.
Would you say you are getting enough support from the media?
Of course, there is no time I requested for media cooperation and declined. No. There is no media house I approach for cooperation to cover our program, and we are denied. We are enjoying very good cooperation from the
So I can safely assume that you are enjoying your stay in Ogun State?
No problem. I'm enjoying my stay in Ogun State operationally, administratively, no problem.
So for residents of the state, your expectation?
My expectation to residents in Ogun State is call on them to continue to be law-abiding. I know Ogun State is blessed with people who are educated and enlightened, and that's why we don't have much problem from the citizens. Rather, most of the problem is on the corridor, the expressways, where we have people from all over the country applying that access. So that is where the main problem is, because people from different states, different orientation, different background, different whatever, they apply that. But here within the states, don't have much problem, because the people, they are good, they are educated, they are enlightened, and in most cases they obey the rules, traffic rules and regulations, and I want them to continue to be good citizens, obeying the traffic rules and regulations.
Thank you.
And also to continue to cooperate, not only with the Frsc, but indeed all other security agencies, to make Ogun State a better place for all.
Okay. It is indeed heartwarming that you have that verdict about Ogun State. I've been talking to the sector commander, Ogun State Frsc Command, Commander Ahmed Umar, who has been speaking to some of the issues that have to do with road safety in the state. He has laid his card on the table, what he expects from residents of the state, and what Frsc is doing to actually ensure that there is indeed rules in the state. It is another that we would like to round off this particular edition of conversation. I have to thank you for giving us the time.
Thank you.
To have you on our program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much too. So that's how we wrap it up on conversation for this particular episode. I hope to bring another episode to you. Till then, I remain Adeni Etawo. Many thanks for watching.